Have you watched the series Breaking Bad? It's about Walter White, a high school chemistry teacher who takes up a second job of making meth after finding out he's got cancer. He tells himself he's doing this for the family, yet the growing deception of his double life destroys everything he set out to save. Narcissistic and predatory people like to think that what they do in secret doesn't count, that what others don't know won't hurt them, but that couldn't be further from the truth. In this video, I'm going to take a closer look at what happens in toxic relationship when there's deception. Hi, I'm Dr. Kerry Kerr McAvoy, a mental health clinician and a narcissistic abuse survivor, and this is the 14th episode of Toxic Love. If you're interested in learning more about pathological love relationships, please stick around by subscribing to this channel, where each week I'm deconstructing a toxic relationship from start to finish. And let me know that you're enjoying this video by hitting the like button. In this video, I'm going to define chronic and persistent cognitive dissonance, explain how it gets created, and if you stick around to the end, you'll learn some frightening information about some of its long-term neurological effects. Our mind is a meaning-making machine. It has powerful pattern recognition abilities as it compares your past experiences to what's happening in the present day. It doesn't just do this to help you get ahead, although that certainly is an important goal. It has a much bigger issue on its mind: your survival. It's searching for hidden risks and dangers to help you navigate a potentially dangerous world. It's not just watching out for your physical safety, but also for your psychological well-being. Everything, after all, is interconnected. If your mental health suffers, so does all the other aspects of your life, like your physical condition and the health of your relationships. For example, research has found a strong connection between heart functioning and emotions, particularly anger. One study found that our risk of suffering a heart attack increases by 5 times in the 2-hour period after we've had an angry outburst. And the risk of having a stroke goes up by 3-fold. Did you know that you're more likely to be killed by loneliness than smoking? Although I don't recommend taking up either. A huge part of your personal safety profile is who makes up your social support system. You're at the greatest risk from those you let into your inner circle. The more intimate the connection, the greater the danger. Skyler, Walter White's wife in Breaking Bad, senses something is wrong with Walter early on. He doesn't tell her about the cancer or his illegal extracurricular activities. Each time she checks in with Walter, he denies that there's anything wrong. Yet his reassurances doesn't diminish her growing dis-ease. What she's experiencing is cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance begins when a dual reality is created. The person who sets up the deception wants to keep their loved ones in the dark. They do this by creating an illusion of what they want their partner and family to believe, while they hide the truth of what they're actually doing. A cheating husband wants his wife to think he's out working late, not that he's out with someone else. Walter White wants Skyler to think that he's not acting strange, and his absences are explainable, despite her growing suspiciousness. This dual reality consists of what you think is happening and the truth of what actually is going on. Our intuition, however, is working in the background, scanning for any inconsistencies between what it knows and what it sees. Without our conscious awareness, it senses when things don't add up and makes incredibly accurate hunches. A few dates into my new relationship with my ex, he took a phone call through his car's Bluetooth. It was a woman, he explained when the number flashed on the dashboard, who was making a large donation to his company's office of secondhand furniture. I listened silently while they chatted for a few minutes about the delivery details. My intuition, however, had perked up and noticed something was off. Maybe it was how he was offering too much information about a business call. Or perhaps it was the way they were oddly friendly with one another. Or the fact that he let me listen in to both sides of the call. But I remember thinking to myself, he knows her. And they've been sleeping together. But it wasn't until a year later when I stumbled across a slew of sexting between him and her that occurred at the same time that my hunch was proven correct. They had been having an intimate relationship. Cognitive dissonance is meant to help us resolve mental challenges. It was never meant, however, to become a constant state of mind. It was designed to help us move through loaded decisions, hopefully towards a better end. But the dual reality toxic people create leaves us in limbo. We can't determine if we're in a relationship with a good person or a bad person, someone who loves us or loathes us. And the reason is, and please hear me on this, is that because we can't determine the truth because both realities are true. And the reason we can't determine what's true, and please hear me on this, is because both realities are real. Let's take Walter White as an example. He does want to leave his family better off, leave them with some money after he's gone. But his new illegal endeavors excites him with the power, and he grows monstrous the longer he's involved. He is both a good guy and a bad one. Simultaneously, he's existing in both realities side by side, and his family suffers from that confusion. It's the same for you and me. Toxic people are both the soulmates we've dreamed of and our worst nightmare. They both love and hate us. And here's the other wild part. You also create a dual reality within you. You learn how to live with the good person, do the things that they want, show up in a pleasing and loving way, while you're creating wonderful memories with them, while you're also living with the bad person that makes you feel careful about what you say and how you act around them, that makes you do the things that you do just the way that they want them, and creates painful memories that are stored away from living with this kind of intimidation, fear, and tension. Living in this duality is immobilizing. Anyone who's experienced this will tell you they feel stuck, trapped. All decisions, even about leaving, become difficult because you don't know what's real. And all this tension is wreaking havoc on your brain. Sandra L. Brown, leading expert of narcissistic abuse, describes it as your brain on fire. The constant state of cognitive dissonance damages critical areas of our neurology. Decision-making becomes difficult. You're forgetful. You struggle to find the right words and you feel on pins and needles. These symptoms are real mental changes, all brought on by the damaging effects of cognitive dissonance. Neural imaging has shown observable impairments to the amygdala and hippocampus, both areas in our brain. And the symptoms you're experiencing, that brain fog and confusion, aren't ones you've made up because you're stressed. They're actual deficiencies. The good news is you can heal, but it takes getting out of the dual reality of cognitive dissonance, which means you have to leave. I know, that's not something that's easy, and we're going to save that topic for another time. Has this video been helpful in understanding why you feel so trapped? How cognitive dissonance affects the mind? If so, please like this video and stick around by subscribing to this channel. And if I've described your situation, please don't wait. Begin today to attack your confusion with my online course, First Steps to Leaving a Narcissist, and break free from the mental confusion and agony of cognitive dissonance. If you liked this episode, then be sure to check out last week's when I explain why boundaries often don't work with narcissists. And you're not going to want to miss next week's when I talk about why narcissists get so angry when you and I cry or get upset over what they've done. Hey, big hugs and stay strong and safe.